in 2010 and is directed by Quentin Dupieux, who is also behind such films like Wrong, Wrong Cops, and Reality. And this film is starring Steven Spinella, Roxanne Mesquita, Jack Plotnick, Haley Ram, Wings Hauser, and Ethan Coen. In the middle of the California desert, a small group of spectators have gathered together to watch what seems to be a live-action movie. And this movie is all about a tire. A tire that seems to have a mind and life of its own. The tire wakes up and learns to roll itself down this long, winding road in the middle of the California desert. However, along the way, this tire discovers that it gets a lot of pleasure from rolling over small critters and exploding living things with its telekinetic powers. Or psychokinetic powers, as I guess they say in this film. I thought they were the same thing, but I guess they're not. Who knew? And that's this movie within a movie? This movie is weird. Just put that out there. I'm gonna put my foot down. This movie is freaking weird. Because it begins with probably one of the most brilliant monologues I have ever heard in film about film. This cop gets out of a trunk of a car and approaches the camera, looks at it through the lens, and talks about how, hey, you know how in certain movies things happen for no reason? Well, this film is an ode to the idea of, hey, there is no reason for this. And thank God that's there, because, I mean, that's the essence of this entire movie. It is that ode to the idea of, hey, this is happening because there's no reason, which is very difficult for me, and I would assume the majority of people to understand, because really when we go into art, we like to figure out, or at least interpret, the why behind something. But he makes a brilliant point in this opening monologue where he talks about, why is the alien in E.T. brown? No reason. Why do these two characters fall in love in this particular movie? No reason. And there's a brilliant line in there where in every single movie, in every piece of art, there is at least one element of no reason. Why can't we see wind? No reason. Why is the grass green? No reason. Stuff like that. Which is an interesting and very thought-invoking philosophical question. When it comes to writing, though, maybe it's just my own prejudice, or maybe it's my own kind of nose up in the air moment, but it kind of feels a little lazy. It feels like an excuse that a couple of modern day writers and screenwriters, you know, they're writing along and they're like, well, there's not like a lot of good reason or good dialogue in real life, so why should I try that hard? So I'm torn. This opening bit where it's talking about, oh, there is no reason. I'm like, wow, that's actually really beautiful and really brilliant. And the other part of me is thinking like, that's actually also kind of lazy. But whatever, that's the whole lens that we're coding this entire movie in that we need to look through. And we watch this group of spectators that seem to be an allegory for the actual audience watching this movie, like a whole satirical piece here. We watch them watch this tire go from point A to point B to point C and continue on through this film. And I'll be honest, when I went into this movie, I was expecting more of just kind of a straight story of this killer tire that comes to life and kills people. But what we get here is more of a satirical piece on the idea of critics and film audiences, just audiences in general, and how some of them have valid points and how some of them are very snooty and know-it-all-y, but underneath all of that intelligence and all of that arrogance, they're all just basic animals that are willing to devour each other whenever they get the chance. Kind of a cynical look on life, and a little cynical in this interpretation here in this movie, but it's actually kind of entertaining. I will say, though, that the puppetry of this film is very impressive. How they're able to get this tire moving without seeing whoever is doing the puppetry, whoever's doing the remote controls, however they're doing this, is really, really impressive. And a lot of that goes to the cinematography, the way this film is shot. Majority of the tire will be on screen, but there's just a little tiny bit of it off screen where I would assume that there is someone holding the tire or moving the tire from side to side to kind of give it a little personality. It's funny, when I sat down to watch this movie, I put it on the screen and my wife looks at it and goes, huh, is that like a killer tire that eats people? And I looked at her and I said, yeah, That's exactly what it is. The look of laughter and disbelief and just, Caleb, what are you doing this on her face was priceless. But then I told her that, hey, it's a recommendation from Jerry Dennis, who is an old technical director of mine, a good friend, and a brilliant artist who is always into the weird, kooky, strange horror flicks like this one. And she goes, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Jerry Dennis, shout out to you. You're one of the best people on this planet, one of the coolest people on this planet. Thanks for recommending this movie to me. It is weird as all hell, but that's you in a nutshell. Film is very confusing though. We go in and out of, hey, we're in this little world, but then we're in this world of people watching this world, and then we go into another world where, oh, well, it's actually this whole thing altogether. I was confused a lot in this movie. I was entertained a lot, especially whenever the tire was on screen. But whenever we get to the actors and the people who seem to be controlling or at least playing a part in this grand scheme of a thing, is the movie worth your time? If you're into something that's like totally different from something that you've seen before, yes. I'm gonna give Rubber 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next. We're going to be selecting from all the horror and Halloween films that either I own or have been recommended to me over the years, so let's take a look. A Quiet Place 2. Awesome. From Michigan Mom, thank you very much. I've been wanting to watch this. I saw the first Quiet Place when it came out, and I was blown away by it. That was awesome. And I've heard nothing but good things about the sequel. One of those films, again, that was pushed back all due to the pandemic. It was supposed to come out last year, I believe. But it finally came out this year, and we're finally getting around to watching it. Awesome. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie recommendation with your donation. And if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, have you seen Rubber? What did you think about it? I am very curious to see what your interpretation of what is happening in this movie. Whatever you thought, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of A Quiet Place 2. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.